Hey everyone, iGrok here. I'm glad you tuned in. I know it's the second week in a video. I'm gonna try to get the videos out a little bit more consistently in the future. But essentially, I came across some inspiration today, so I was like, you know what? Let's just, let's go for it. So as you see, I titled the video iGrok, therefore I am. Obviously, a play on the, Descartes' I think, therefore I am. And I really want to, as the channel suggests, just kind of emphasize more of the intuitive state awareness and how that plays a much larger role in, me recognizing my existence, that I exist, and, what I do with that. But anyway, this particular video, I wanted to try to teach you a method that I utilize to engage in my more intuitive side. And when I say engage in my more intuitive side, I mean specifically being in a state of intuitive awareness as opposed to a state of cognitive awareness. And you can differentiate the two very, very easily, especially if you've ever experienced a moment of being in intuitive awareness. But essentially think of, think of anything, and then you're in a cognitive-based awareness. If you are primarily focused on your thoughts, then you are in a cognitive-based awareness. However, if you are in an intuitive-based awareness, you'll find that you're not necessarily, you could still be thinking, but your thinking is a secondary process. It's a behavior that's going on in the background. Yes, thinking is a behavior, by the way. You are not your inner voice. Your inner voice is a behavior that you engage in. So just a little tidbit, but anyway. So yeah, essentially, think about intuition or grokking. Grok is, to know something by way of intuition, without cognitive reasoning. So essentially, by not necessarily turning off cognition, but backing your awareness away from cognition, it essentially allows you to be in a more intuitive state and to experience the world in a slightly different type of way. So how do you engage in this state? I know you're probably wondering. The easiest way that I've found is to listen to some sort of sound. Open up a video on YouTube. It doesn't have to be any particular type of sound. It could be anything. It could be a sound, music. It could be a speech. It has to be something, though, that you are able to recreate the sound inside your mind using your inner voice. Because your inner voice does not limit itself just to words. You can also recreate sounds using your inner voice. So essentially, I want you to listen to this music or listen to this speech. I would hope that you know it well enough because I want you to essentially recreate whatever sound you're attending to within the video that you're watching. So if it's music, let's say you're paying attention to the words, or a speech, you're paying attention to the words. I want you, as you're hearing the words, to recreate the words in your them. So as you hear me saying, listen to my voice, I want you in your voice, in your head, using your inner voice to say, and try to line it up with the timing that I say it, listen to my voice. And essentially, I want you to double up the input. So you're getting external input in throughout your ears, which is allowing you to hear the word. But then I want you to also engage in the inner process, which does not need actual stimuli, or at least not external stimuli. Engage in that inner thought process and allow it to happen simultaneously as you're receiving the external input into your ears. So just do a voiceover while the voice is still doing its thing. And essentially, I want you to do that because as you start to consciously sort of repeat the voice in your head, it gets easier to not repeat the voice. And essentially, it makes it easier for you to step out of your cognition and just listen. I'm getting sweaty. I should probably wipe that off. All right, sorry. I was getting a little sweaty. I had to pause the video to wipe that sweat off. I was getting a little glistening up in here. Not that type of video. It ain't, I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, so yeah, essentially, that's what you want to do. Repeat that voice in your head, and it allows it to be easier for you to back off of the voice in your head. And essentially, I want you to try to remain in that state. And when I say try to remain in that state, you're not actually doing anything except remaining aware of when your thoughts come back in, and then just stepping back from them. Again, it's essentially meditation. When you think of a meditative state, you think of achieving a state of nirvana. You think of turning off the mind, so to speak. And I don't want you to turn off the mind. And honestly, true meditation would say that you don't try to turn off the mind, you just step back from the mind. So maybe you are doing true meditation. But it's something you can do any day anytime throughout the day, throughout the entire day. And that's what makes it very powerful because, I mean, if you essentially think about faith, what does it mean to walk in faith? It means to be in a state of openness and trust. And that's essentially what you're essentially, we think because we don't know. And we're trying to find an answer. That's our primary faculty for finding an answer, thinking. But staying in an intuitive state says that I don't have to try so hard to figure out the answer because I have faith that my mind will figure it out for me. And, you know, if you're following some type of religion, then you have faith that your mind will follow it for you because you're sticking to the doctrine of your deity or whatever it may be, you know. But yeah, that's essentially all I got today. I'm glad you guys checked out the video. Leave a comment down below if you're interested in the topic. Leave a like if you like more. Subscribe if you want to check out more of my content. Thanks for checking it out. You guys have a great day.